What you could do is go for that strong green that really looks kind of green, or you can go for something like this, which is a little bit more muted. It's not as kind of like in your face green. You know, you don't look at it and think, oh my gosh, she's got green eyeshadow on. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is all about educational beauty. Today's video is how to apply and wear green eyeshadow. Recently, I asked you guys on a previous video of mine, which color do you want me to use to create a kind of nice eye makeup look with? And you guys said green. The majority of you said green. And don't forget to also let me know on this video what the next color is. So don't forget to leave a comment below. Now, if you do like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. And I'm over on Instagram, so don't forget to say hi there too. Now let's head straight into this video. So a little while back, I asked you guys a question on one of my YouTube videos. And I asked you guys, what color eyeshadow do you guys want me to create a look with? And I said that whichever color was mentioned the most, I would do that tutorial. I would use that color and create an eye look with it. And it turns out the shade is green. So here we go. I'm going to create a green eyeshadow look. I'm going to be honest, I was looking through my eyeshadow palettes. I've got 2 drawers of eyeshadows. And that was the one color I just could not find. I was like, what is going on? This is the one color I don't seem to have enough of. And it's kind of like trying to find the right shade of green as well. I had like a couple of like mint greens and kind of really deep bottle greens, but so deep that, you know, it didn't even look like a green when you put it on. So I've kind of had to pick and choose like very carefully which greens that I want to use to put together like this whole eye look. I honestly I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I wing it when it comes to creating eye looks because I decide when I'm kind of in that creative zone on how that look should kind of turn out. It isn't something that I plan, and it's just the way I always am. I don't plan makeup looks as such. Like in terms of I do plan the topic, but I don't necessarily plan like, oh, it's actually going to end up being a winged kind of like eyeshadow look, or maybe it's going to be very subtle. So we're going to go with it and see what actually generally looks good. Now, first thing I'm going to do is create like a base layer of green on my eye. Now, the only thing I currently have on is a little bit of concealer, and it's like kind of matted and set down with some powder, and that's it. My base and everything else is already done. I don't have any mascara on. We're just going to go straight in with the eyeshadow. Now, I'm going to be using my green from my Anastasia Prism palette. This shade is called Throne, and it's kind of like a teal. So it's kind of like this really deep jewel green. So I'm going to be using that as my base color. I'm just going to use the brush that's in the palette because it's just going to be easier. And all I'm going to do is kind of like apply this close to my lash line on either side of the lash line. I'm kind of wanting, as I'm thinking about it, to go for a green eye look which has kind of a lot of depth to it. So I don't want it to be super flat or just like one kind of like finish all the way across. So I'm going to use a few different kind of finishes. So first off, let's get this on. So I'm just going to dip my kind of brush into this eyeshadow. And I feel like from what I remember using Anastasia palettes, because I haven't done for quite a while, is you need to kind of like layer it up a bit. So I'm going to go really close to my lash line from the inner corner, and I want to make sure I kind of don't go too far up. By the way, this plaster on my finger is, I don't know if you watched my last video, but it's because my nail broke, and it really gets me angry looking at a blunt stubby nail. So I'm going to the salon tomorrow, get that sorted. Now, that came out really weird. Now, when I'm applying this, I'm not brushing back and forth. I'm kind of like pressing it and flicking. You guys who have been on this channel long enough know what I'm about when it comes to press and flick or buff and flick. You've heard me say this. This eyelid is weirdly very ticklish right now. Ooh, that felt funny. Okay, so pressing and flicking. Oh, okay. So can you see how we've covered up that kind of like first part of the lid? Oh, that was like really ticklish applying that. I don't know why. It's actually making me feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, Now you can see we've got this green along the beginning part of the lid on both sides. I'm now going to apply it at the end. Now, because I don't want it to kind of like come out too far out, I'll decide as I'm going along whether I want it to be quite feline and lifted. But at the moment, I'm just going to apply it there and just not focus so much on how far out it's going to come. Now, because I don't really want to focus on how far out it's going to come, I'm not going to apply it this way. I'm going to apply it this way. So inwards as opposed to coming outwards, which is the natural way of applying eyeshadow on the eye, on the eyelid. So I'm going to actually press and flick inwards so that I'm not kind of like dragging that color out anywhere. And we're going to stay on the lid below the crease. Very small movements. We're just going to leave a slight, so you're going to end up with this slight gap in the middle of your lid. This is a very deep bottle green. You see I'm not going past the end of the lash line at the moment. I'm just kind of applying that base color there. Okay, let's do the same on the other eye. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of the product on the brush, just take off the excess on the back of my hand. And now this is where just the edges of what I just applied, I'm going to very lightly drag it out so there's no extra product. I'm using the tip of the brush and very lightly, in small movements, kind of like, almost kind of like softening the edge. Okay, it's not going too far out, so I like that. Now I'm just going to go on the other side. Again, just using the tip of the brush so that it's not overly kind of, like not too much product. Now you can use your finger if you feel like there's a little bit of excess product there, or you need to kind of like just wipe a little bit away. You can kind of like use your finger to drag a little bit. I'm going to get my Sigma E21 brush, dip it into that colour, and I'm just going to go along my lower lash line. I'm kind of going into my lashes. And I'm kind of like mirroring the top part of my eye shadow, you know, where I've applied it. You really want to make sure that your brush is small enough to be able to get into those lashes, because otherwise it's just going to go everywhere. So it's really important to make sure that the brush is the right shape and size for this part. Next, I'm going to get my Hourglass Voyeur. I don't even know if that's how you say it. It's an eyeshadow stick. Okay, it's like this kind of like olive green. Now, what I'm going to do is apply this on the center, you know that empty part on my lid? I'm going to apply it there. So I'm just going to like literally just colour in that bit there. There you go. I'm just going to go back in with that brush that we used and kind of like merge those two colours together, only with the tip. And you don't need to really move the brush along too much, because otherwise it's just going to all mix together and just turn into just one kind of colour. We really want to keep that kind of olive colour through the middle, just so it kind of like looks like it's just naturally blending it in. There you go. I'm also going to apply this along the center of the lower lashes. Again, we're mirroring the kind of top part of the lid. I am going to get a bright pencil now. This is really going to add that pop of green now. And you don't have to do this part, but I want to, because I just feel like I just like how it just really brings out the green in the whole look. Because what you could do is go for that strong green that really looks kind of green. Or you can go for something like this, which is a little bit more muted. It's not as kind of like in your face green. You know, you don't look at it and think, oh my gosh, got green eyeshadow on. It's kind of like olive mixed with bottle green. So it's still on that kind of like spectrum of the color chart, but at the same time it's not in your face. And if you really want to add that very subtle pop of green to help bring the green out of all of that eyeshadow, then you can use like a bright green. So I'm going to be using the the KVD Everlasting. It's actually a lip liner, but I'm going to be using it on the eyes. It's called Lemmy. It's like a green. You can use any kind of like green eyeshadow, pencil. So I am going to use this and apply this like kind of like not into my waterline because I don't want it really close to my eye. I'm kind of like applying it like really close to my lower lashes. And honestly, you'll love how this just kind of brings out the green. So all I've done is apply it right into my lower lashes and then just along, this plaster looks awful, just along that kind of the upper lashes there and also there. So it's kind of gone all the way along the bottom of the lower lashes and then into the upper lash there and into the upper lash there, but not all the way in the middle. We're going to do the same here. So remember, you're really focusing on applying it into the lashes, not kind of right into the eye. Now I'm going to go back to that E21 brush from Sigma, and there's nothing on this, and I'm going to just basically kind of like go over the lower lash line. Just kind of like blend all that together without kind of mixing too much, if you see what I mean. I'm just kind of like going side to side. All that's doing is making sure nothing's disconnected. Okay, I'm going to get my YSL Lash Clash because this kind of gives me like instant drama on my lashes. Like I don't have to really spend ages kind of like putting my mascara on with this mascara. That's basically my green eyeshadow look. I hope it's been really easy for you guys to recreate. Don't forget, what you can do is kind of like rewind the video and get all your stuff out and then kind of pause it as we go along. It's really going to be easier that way for you guys to do as well. And I feel like you could get any kind of color and do this. So like even if you want to go for a purple, you want to go for like oranges, you want to go for anything, any kind of color you want, all you need is kind of like something which is a little bit lighter in terms of that color and then a darker shade of that same color. And then you're good to go. And any mascara. Now you can kind of like change this up if you wanted to. So for example, I could go in with like this like really sparkly eyeshadow on top. So let me just quickly show you. This is the Stila, what is this? Shimmer and Glow in Courageous. And you could, this is not even green, but if you wanted to, I just want you to kind of like see how you can kind of like add something to it. We're just going to put a little dot in the middle of each eyelid. Then we're going to get the finger and we're going to pat, but we're not going to kind of like move the like finger around too much, if you get what I mean. I just want to kind of like keep that right in the middle. And there you go, it adds a little bit of a sparkle in the middle. Bear in mind that like when you apply like a brown sparkle shade or a gold sparkle shade on top of something like a deep shade like a green or a blue or a purple, the great thing is that because you're using a kind of like slightly transparent sparkle, it's still gonna it's gonna change when you apply it to that main base eyeshadow. It's gonna like, for example, this looks kind of olivey now, more olivey in the middle. So wherever you apply it, it's gonna change it a little bit, which I think is a great thing, because what it does is it helps you to kind of like almost becomes like this super adaptable eyeshadow which you can use on any base color, which ends up matching any kind of color as well. So yeah, there's so many different little things that you could do. You could apply it to the inner corner any way you want. Now I hope you do recreate this whole look and I hope you've enjoyed it. Obviously I need to know what the next color is. What's the next color that you guys want me to create an eyeshadow look with? Tell me. I want it to be different. No greens allowed. Let's pick a really amazing color, something different, and you can be as adventurous as you want. Now, wherever you guys are in the world, I'm sending you loads of love and I'll see you soon. I really do hope you've enjoyed this video today, and I hope it makes you want to try different colors too. Now, if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.